Hello and welcome back to another episode of ET Auto. Today we have a very special guest. He's Mr. Shailesh Chandra, Managing Director, Tata Motor Passenger Vehicle segment, and also leading the charge in the electric vehicle segment with back-to-back launches. Today, the company has launched Tata Punch.ev. Sir, welcome to the show. And I would like to, first of all, get your insights on the customers, because you are the market leader in this segment. What kind of key areas where customers demand EVs?
Yeah, I think, thanks for congratulating on the Tata Punch EV. I think it's a very significant step for us because this is the first pure EV architecture product that we are bringing in the market. And it sits at the sweet spot of where EVs can become a mainstream. So far, electric vehicles, it was a new technology, so there were a lot of early adopters. And the early adopters uh, a very different kind of profile, right? They are very patient set of customers who like experimenting with new technology, who want to be seen in something which is new, which is good for environment. At the same time, there are very practical customers also who see that there is a huge economic saving that you're going to get. There's low maintenance cost.
Right,
And various kind of applications you have seen in EVs, which we had not even envisaged, I'm saying.
right,
So on one hand, you have a car EV, Tiago EV, which is being used as a second or a third car in the
mhm,
family.
mhm,
So you see a homemaker, for example, gets an immense sense of freedom with an EV because it's so convenient to drive. It is a small footprint car, and the homemaker is able to do uh, her set of work fully empowered with a car. Then you have school kids also, who are using EVs, staying on the scouts or outskirt of a very modern township, but the school is
right,
somewhere in the city, so it is being used for that. There are a lot of doctors using EVs, right? Because they feel that they have a certain circuit and a long distance to cover during the day, and it is
right,
silent, stress-free drive, good for the environment. And then you have, some smart businessmen, right, who live in a big city but have a factory somewhere outside on the outskirts, and they have a very
right,
long daily commute, and they see that this car is comfortable, silent, absolutely. You don't get tired in driving EVs, and it also
right,
saves a lot of money. So you have all these kind of customers who are buying EVs. Just
right,
from a city profiling perspective, we have
mhm,
seen shift of demand towards tier
right.
2, tier 3 cities,
Okay,
where the demand used to be predominantly from tier 1 cities, say in the uh, first or second year of the journey that we started. But there is a greater gravitation moving towards tier 2, tier 3 cities also. That shift also we are seeing. Women buyers are double the percentage in terms of what you see in the ICE side. So against
wow,
ICE, where you see 11% penetration of women buyer, here it is 22%, 23%. So these are the
mhm,
mix of profiles. I hope I have answered your question.
right. So, sir, is it because of the EV's core, character of silent in nature, easy to drive, it's already automatic? That's why women buyers are attracted towards. And also, when you talk about tier two, tier three cities, so major challenges electricity there. How they are trying to use EV in that particular area. What are the insights there, if you could, and then you can come back to the portfolio questions.
See, the biggest insight I would give, what is coming out is from Gujarat and Rajasthan, right? Where we were really surprised to see that nearly 40 to 45% of the customers have a solar, rooftop installed.
Yes.
And therefore, EVs are becoming a seamless and integral part of the lifestyle, solar lifestyle.
Hmm.
And it becomes absolutely free for them in that sense, right? And
Right.
therefore, the
Right.
uh, adoption of EVs in those states and cities where solar is becoming a big movement, you are seeing
Right.
adoption of EVs significantly, right? So therefore, one is also being driven. So there is a thumb rule today in Gujarat that if you have a solar rooftop, even if one person in your family is, doing 40, 50 kilometers a day, you need to have an EV there, right?
Right.
You are also seeing, people living in smaller towns, right? Adjacent to a big city, right? Or
Hmm.
even a rural place like a Chomu, closer to Jaipur. You
Right.
are seeing a lot of those customers buying electric vehicles because they have a fair commute coming to the city and then going out. So a lot of such kind of customers are coming. But
Right.
when it comes to women buyer and doctors also,
Right.
the value proposition of an EV, that it is silent, very convenient to drive because it is the smoothest and most effective automatic car,
Right.
and because it is also low on running cost and economics work very well. I
Right.
think it is just very suitable to
Mhm.
certain profile of buyers, including women, doctors, um, and of course, then those who do a lot of running right during the day. There are customers who have done 50,000 kilometers in a year.
Right.
So then those kind of cases, it's a no-brainer
Right.
choice.
So, sir, is
EVs.
it fair to say that, if, rather government, giving subsidies on fame or, any other thing for faster adoption of EVs, they could imply the net metering policy across states where, people are motivated towards, solar, and then EV becomes an integral part of the ecosystem.
I am saying that, first, there is a cost challenge as far as EV technology is concerned, right? That's why the incentives need to remain till the battery prices come down to a level, or when you reach a penetration level of 20-25% is where the
Right.
subsidy should start going down. But I think
Right.
there is a big case of what you're saying, that if solar is promoted as a package thing with the EV, it can be a big
Right.
movement. And the numbers
Right.
can be very revealing. Let me give you an example. As I said, Gujarat, 45% of the people are buying, EVs with solar rooftop already installed at their home.
Right.
At a pan
Right.
India level, we have seen this percentage already at 25%.
Wow.
Now, this whole debate that is there, that, EVs grid is at 75% thermal and only 25% renewable, is not
Right.
effectively therefore giving, the advantage of zero emission
Right.
technology.
Right.
But with
So when do we?
25% mix, which is already there in solar,
Right.
this 75% has already come down to 56%. For
Right.
EVs, that 75% is not applicable. The real number is actually 56%, which means
Right.
renewable mix is already 44%.
Right.
If we take an aggressive target in the next 3 years to penetrate it to 40%, along with governmental policies in certain states and all,
Right.
this can come down to a renewable mix of more than 60%.
Wow.
And let's take, for example, in 2030, if we take a target of 70% penetration of solar rooftop,
Right.
then you are using 90% renewable energy to power an EV. It's a game changer.
Yeah. And we
It
can think of this
solves
use
the
case.
problem of the country in terms of net carbon zero, in terms of fossil fuel dependence, in terms of AQI issues
Right.
that we face.
Right.
This is the path to go, and I'm surprised the way the customers from Gujarat and the
Right.
Marwadi community has thought so smartly that EVs can become a part of their overall lifestyle, of
Right.
solar lifestyle, I would say, right?
So this can become, we can become the first use case, like just like UPI we did, we revolutionized the financial transaction. And with solar, we being the country where, we have a lot of sun and a lot of states which are, plains. So sir, my next question is on your portfolio. You have now two entry level EVs, then you have a electric sedan and an SUV, which is already doing around 67 to 70% of market share. How do you see that your contribution to the EV electric cars will, give the momentum towards the overall electric passenger segment? What volumes can grow in next 1 year, and what are the targets for Tata?
First, our approach has been that every new product should create a new segment. It should give opportunity for a new customer to embrace EVs, right? And therefore, you would have seen the approach that first we came with an Exxon EV because battery prices were to the extent that we could give a limited range and we could only give in a certain segment where we could meet that boundary condition of an EV price being within the 25% premium to an ICE equivalent, right? But as the battery prices came down, we increased the range of Nexon, was the first step that we took.
Right.
After that, as the battery prices further came down, we launched the most affordable product, which was Tiago. of course, with range which was slightly lower.
Right.
But then we have come with a Punch EV which
Right.
sits in between these two. So what we are trying to do is that we are trying to offer choices to the customer in different body styles. So we have given a sedan, we have given a hatch, we have given an SUV, and now another SUV, which is very popular in a subcompact category.
Subcompact.
So we are giving a different price point, we are giving different body styles. Now, in a smaller footprint car, we have given a 400 plus kilometer range.
Right.
So the effort is that every new launch should make a difference in expanding the volume of electric vehicle and not cannibalize the demand, right? That has been the whole effort, and the effort will continue with the subsequent launches. That in the price continuum, starting from 8.5 lakh, going up to say 25 lakh plus, there are multiple options available to a customer. So our
Right.
contribution to the electric vehicle industry will be to give choices for different levels of accessibility to the customer, so that
Right.
every pocket has an electric vehicle choice available to them. So that will be our
Right.
contribution, and that is what should support our leadership in the market.
Right. So you are close to selling 1 lakh units electric vehicles in this particular fiscal year. What are the targets for the next year for Tata Motors?
No, so this year we should be ending at between 70,000 to 80,000. We had
Okay.
taken an aspiration of 100,000 this calendar year, this financial year, but we could not reach
Right.
that number because the pace at which we had anticipated the charging infra, the pace at which certain cities we had thought will adopt electric vehicle, right? Uh, the continuation of policies in certain states that we had expected, all these contributed to the factor of not being able to hit that 100,000. But having said that, I
Okay.
think our adoption and strength of our product, we remain the best sellers. And therefore, with the additional
Right.
product that we have launched now and additional two products which will be coming in the later part of this year, I think we should be definitely thinking of volumes beyond 1 lakh. I hope significantly above that. So that would be the target.
Okay. Sir, I would like to further understand on the early adopters. Are these early adopters also referring to their friends and family because they're how the technology or anything trickles down, or for more sales or word of mouth is spreading? What is your understanding on that side? Are there any study research that you have done?
See, early adopters, there are many early adopters I have seen are very expressive, very vocal, and do a lot of referral, right? There is a lot of referral sale which happens in EVs, right? They speak a lot about that electric vehicles to their friend, to their relatives, and that influences them to move towards electric. But there are more customers who come to these early adopters and
Right.
check and clarify their doubts.
Right.
So it's a two-way thing which happens.
Right.
And that really gives a lot of confidence to uh, a customer who's a fence sitter to move to electric, because they are hearing from the horse's mouth.
Right.
Whatever an OEM says and tries to convince is not that credible as a customer who has bought and is living with that product. So I think they
Right.
have played a big role in the growth of electric vehicles, from few thousand numbers to 100,000 nearly that we might end in this
Right.
financial year at an industry level.
Right. So in last few years, Tata Motors have been firing all cylinders, be it electric vehicle strategy or launching new products on the ICE side. And you have been like, on a chase of like become second number, sometimes you're on the second and sometimes on third. Market share is hovering, somewhere in the largest, second largest car. And with your new capacity expansion at Sanan Ford's acquisition, do you think that this year would be that year that Tata Motors will topple or become the second largest car manufacturer?
We, frankly, Dipanshu, don't think that way, whom I'm toppling or not. The team's focus is one, whatever products that we have in our portfolio should be in the top three selling models in their respective segment. And you'll see that is
Very
what
nice.
the continuous effort has been. And if you really track the movement, that is what has been delivered. And then,
Yeah.
as we are doing well, as we are earning money, we will continuously invest in refreshing the products and ensuring that we expand the portfolio, right? These
Mhm.
efforts will lead to rankings, market share, but that is more consequential. Focusing on fundamentals is important, And I think that has helped us in the last 3 4 years, and that will
Right.
remain the focus. Focus will be on actions and strategy
Mhm.
rather than too much getting worried about the outcome, because outcome is not only dependent on what you do. We don't know what
Right.
the others are doing, right? That is many a times a blind spot. So therefore, till we
Right.
are working well on our strategy and executing it well, I think we are happy.
Uh, so what is your outlook for next financial year in terms of overall passenger vehicle market? Uh, because last year was kind of an year of records. Every month was the highest sales for everyone. Uh, do you think the momentum will continue, or it will be a flattish growth? What is your opinion on that?
I do feel that the base effect is, going to play in the next financial year, a high base effect. And the growth rate, if we are able to, even be at around 5% level, I think it will be a sign of a very resilient auto industry. That's the way I see. And that's the sign that we see. It's
Mhm.
not, I don't anticipate that it can be a double digit growth from where
Okay.
we are today. Uh, because just 2 3 years back, we were at less than 3 million, right?
Right.
And the industry is ending, say, 4.1 million or so, is
Right.
a steep growth that one has already seen. Now it is
Right.
important that the industry demand sustains around this number with slight growth. I think
Right.
if we grow by 5%, it should be a good news for the industry.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you.